You may kill me, but you may never insult me. Who am I? Captain Jack Sparrow.
Get the truth about movies on the movie show.
If he were telling the truth, he wouldn't have told us.
Tell them, Sparrow.
Unless, of course, he knew you wouldn't believe the truth, even if you told it to him.
Hello?
Joey, it's Ross. I need some help.
Help has come your way because you are listening to the movie show.
What is up?
What is going on?
Welcome.
Yes, there you go, to the movie show.
Right here on Active FM.
Her name is...
Oh, I'm going to say my name. Sesh.
Well, there's only one her, yeah.
No, as in I thought you were going to say it for me because you were like, her name is... Okay, that's Sesh.
And their name is...
their
you
name...
can say their name.
Their names are...
Some.
And Ryan.
There we go. Haha.
What's up? Mm-hmm. Damn it.
Okay, so if you don't know, we are currently on a Christopher Nolan
trilogy?
Yeah. Like,
don't they call it the Batman trilogy?
They
The
do.
Dark Knight trilogy. Ooh.
Yes.
Yes, it is the
That
Dark
is
Knight
the more
trilogy.
technical term, yeah.
So we did Batman Begins last week, and it was good. It was cool.
It
didn't overtake my favorite Christopher Nolan film. It was good.
You said The Prestige, right?
No, Dunkirk.
Okay, still need to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan, did it overtake Tenet?
No.
Still got Tenet as number one?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this week we are doing The Dark Knight. Honestly, oh my word, this movie was so good. This movie was, I don't know if it's my favorite Christopher Nolan film yet because I haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises, so I'm still leaving my options open. But this movie was brilliant.
Yeah.
This movie was crazy. I loved...
What made it so good?
My favorite points were... What were my favorite points? Okay, the first thing is the way he did it. So like in the action sequences, especially there was one car chase, there was no music. There was literally no music. So there was sound effects from like the cars and what was happening around, and there was dialogue, but there was no music, and yet it was still action. It wasn't like... Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Which car chase was this?
It was the one when they taking... What's his name? The politician? Harvey
Yes,
Dent.
yes.
When they transporting him, I think it was to another prison.
Okay, yes.
And then the Joker obviously comes, and there's that whole crazy... There was literally I don't know if it was... Okay, maybe it wasn't the whole sequence, but definitely for a portion of it, there was no music. There was literally just...
I remember the sound effects.
Because normally action sequences, like the music is what drives the scene. So like the music's loud and big and climatic, and there was nothing. There was literally just sound effects and dialogue, and it was still action-packed. So I was like, this is crazy. And then the shots that they chose to like get, and then the truck doing the 360 flip, I was finished. I was like, oh my goodness.
I knew that was coming. I don't know why I knew that was coming, but I knew it was coming.
And you know that was real.
Yeah, I think you told me that in one of previous show. Maybe, I don't know what we did, but yeah, I remember when they were doing them. In the beginning, I was like, oh, wait, is this the 360 flip? And then he's driving with his bike.
And you know there was a stunt driver in it.
He was in it while they flipped it.
Yep. There was a stunt driver in the truck.
So
wow.
Driving forward, and the next minute it's stop, flip.
No, he didn't stop it. They worked it out. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the technical term is, but they made it flip with like, not explosives, obviously, but do you understand? So they rigged the truck so that
yes.
at that point...
I think they rigged it with a single cable at the back. That was all they used apart from the other cables that flipped it.
But it was so cool.
It was.
I was literally just like, this is one of the best action sequences I've ever seen in my whole life. It was brilliant. The second thing I liked was I don't know if you guys picked it up. I did tell you, Ryan, about it. So, normally movies they film it in, I don't know what the dimension is, but you normally have a black strip at the top and at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because it's not full screen.
Yeah.
So that's the normal, like, film dimension, which this film had. But there were times, especially when it was, like, big city aerial shots, where he did full screen. He literally, he didn't do so it would switch between the full screen dimension and the normal film dimension. And I understand why he did it, because the shots, it made it feel bigger. It like, I don't know how to, okay, that's what I got out of it personally, but it looked beautiful because it was full screen and not like the normal normal dimension. And then Heath Ledger's performance was just crazy. That was, I think, my favorite part of the whole film was Heath Ledger. Like, I loved him on screen. Normally, you don't want the villain on screen. Like, when the villain comes on, you're like...
He was so well balanced. It wasn't like over Joker, like crazy. There was I can't explain like the balance to his acting.
Because there was a lot of intelligence behind his
That's
acting.
what I'm saying.
You know, so therefore everything he did seemed like it was random, but there was so much purpose behind it. It was amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
He was crazy. He was amazing.
Even that licking the lips thing that he would do constantly, that apparently was because the makeup that they put on his mouth for the scars kept coming off. So he didn't want to like cut the scene every time they got the things rolling. So he just would lick it and push it back on. So it was partly a real thing needed for the scene, as well as
and then it became part of his character.
Yeah.
And for me, I noticed the lick, the when he licked his lips, like that was, I was like, that is brilliant acting right there. Like the fact that that got
just
me.
that.
Like I was just like, that is so cool. No, he was brilliant.
And the way that he held the scene. So even that one way he walks in and he's like, there's that I think at Bruce Wayne's party, and then he walks in and he's like, where's who is he looking for? Bruce Wayne's girlfriend again, or something like that, or Harvey? Was he looking
for Harvey?
Yeah,
Dent,
he was. And then you remember he did that whole "you want to know how I got these scars" thing. Just the way that he held the room and he just held the attention of the watchers was great.
I liked also how every time he told that story, it was different.
It was. So you never actually knew what happened.
The first time it was his dad. The second time it was a girl that he'd liked or something to that effect.
Yeah, she said you don't smile enough, and then he cut some smile in his face. Yeah,
that added to like the mystery of his character. And
but that also links back to DC, because in a lot of different variations of comics, they have different stories as to how he got it. So I just think that he tied that into the movie
he was
itself.
Brilliant. He honestly was. I think he was my favorite part of the film. And I've heard about his performance. So I went in it with a high expectation. Because you know when you hear like the greatest performance of all time, so you're like, this better be good, otherwise it was amazing. It actually exceeded my expectations.
Wow, that's impressive.
And they were high.
Yeah.
No, it was very cool.
I actually felt quite sad. Because like usually when you find a good actor, you Google them up. You're like, let me find out when was he born. Who's this guy? And I didn't. I was just like, no, shame. He was a good actor.
No, he was. He was very good.
Brilliant.
And he was. I've watched him in other films. This wasn't the first time I've watched a Heath Ledger performance.
Yeah.
This wasn't. He was totally different. He was like a new person.
I don't think I've watched him as a bad guy before. I've only seen him in like A Knight's Tale.
Oof, A Knight's
10
Tale.
Things I Heard About You. So, you know, those films.
That's true, actually. There was actually a lot of uproar when they first announced that Christopher Nolan had chosen Heath Ledger as the Joker, because people didn't think he would pull it off. So I know Paul Bettany was one of the people that they were considering for the role, and there were other actors like Robin Williams who wanted the role. And when he announced that Heath Ledger was going to play it, people were like, you're going to stuff this up, he's not going to be able to pull it across, you're making a huge mistake. And yet he is the only, I don't know now, but he was the first villain to ever receive an award.
An Oscar
award. The first villain ever to ever receive an Oscar.
Is Heath Ledger do we consider him a method actor?
Yes, he is a method actor.
So we have two method actors here.
He didn't stay in character though the whole time on set, and they actually said he liked skating, as in Heath Ledger liked skating. So often it was weird. It was a weird sight to see, because he'd been full Joker costume, but he'd be like skating around, and there are pictures with him like with fans on set, and he's not like in the Joker character. He's actually like smiling, and I don't think he stayed fully in character the whole time, but he definitely did do method acting. And there was even once where the actor that acted as Harvey Dent, his name's Aaron Eckhart, I think. He spoke about, the scene in the hospital where the Joker goes to speak to Harvey Dent. Apparently what happened was, before the lines were exchanged, Ledger would just walk around in character mumbling to himself in an odd manner, and all Eckhart could do at the time was just watch him while still in character. This went on for several minutes until Ledger got close to him, and then Eckhart felt compelled at this point to fiercely raise his hand up. Immediately Ledger grabbed his hand in an equally matched fierce manner, and when the scene was over, Ledger, now out of character, told Eckhart that's what acting's all about. So he does method act. He does.
I actually heard two stories related to it. The first was straight after the hospital scene you're talking about, where he was walking out and then he pushed the button for the explosions.
Oh, yes.
And then the first set went off and he turned around and was like, surely that's not all. So then him bumping the remote was improvised but still in character. And then the second one went off, which then just added to his performance in that scene. Then the second story I heard was that for a good while, generally before he went on set, he generally sits, I think, by himself in a room. Something, it could have been a dark room, I don't know. But anyway, he used to just sit and like get in character for just
he even had a journal. He had a Joker.
What?
He had a Joker journal, which apparently Joaquin Phoenix did the same thing for his Joker, because obviously he played the Joker now in the Joker. But he had a Joker journal where he'd like write lines or things down that
the character would write or would.
But he actually based his. I didn't know this. He took inspiration from a character in a film called Clockwork Orange. There's apparently a like seriously crazy mental character in there. He still has like added eyelashes on the bottom of his eyelid on the one side. I don't know the character's name, but
I've seen this guy.
Apparently he took inspiration from.
I don't know who you guys are talking about.
I'm actually interested to go watch. I don't know what. I think it's one. What do they call those films? Those psychological
thrillers.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I'd be interested to go watch it just to see his performance, not Heath Ledger's performance, as in the actor that he took inspiration from. His performance. Yeah. Because his performance was crazy. It was brilliant. It really was good.
The only thing that slightly disappointed me about this movie, and then I had to correct this thinking afterwards, was how short Two-Face's existence was. It was kind of like he became Two-Face, and then they killed him off by the end, and you were kind of like, that was the shortest Two-Face appearance in like any DC realm ever. But when you realize that it's a trilogy and he intended it to be a trilogy, you kind of realize, it's okay, because you didn't need to continue past that point. So that was one of the things I corrected afterwards, but I still felt like Two-Face could have lasted longer and done more damage.
One thing I didn't like about the film, this is the only thing I didn't like about the film, was the fact that Katie Holmes didn't reprise her role as Rachel.
I was worrying, I was like, wait, is that?
And the reason
I think about it,
I didn't like it was because I felt like it wasn't Rachel. It wasn't the same character. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, the reason... So that wasn't Christopher Nolan's fault. Katie Holmes, actually, she rejected the offer and said, I'm not interested in being in the sequel. So it wasn't... It was something out of their control. So
she was in a series. How can she...
I know, right?
What?
I don't know. She rejected it. But I kind of didn't feel... Even the way that the character was acted out, I didn't feel like it was the same character that carried through from the first film. So
I'm going to be totally honest. I noticed the difference.
Really?
I did not pick that up. I didn't even know there were two different actresses.
The one that played it in this her name is Millie something.
I can remember her.
Maggie,
I can't remember the first one.
No.
The one from Batman Begins. I can remember this one.
This one, yeah. For me, what it did was... Spoiler alert. When she died, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I was like, meh.
I was going to say, that's the thing, because... through the beginning of the film, Batman is actually after her.
Yeah.
That was the whole, like you see him watching, keeping an eye on stuff and that. And then obviously when she dies, it's supposed to be like, no, but the only guy that was freaking out.
Let's see the Joker again. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
I'm so glad I didn't notice that, because I actually felt something when she died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I loved it.
I was like, why?
Well, I didn't love the fact that she died. Don't get that wrong.
No, but you like the way the emotion.
Yes.
See, for me, that's what it was supposed to be like. But because I noticed the actor difference, I was like,
But I was also very taken aback by who Batman saved, because I genuinely thought he was going to save her.
But wasn't he going for... Didn't the Joker catch it?
I was still thinking, wait, that's clever. Okay, the police are going that way. He's going that way. Okay, cool. Everything's going to work out. But then it really worked out.
Did I understand this incorrectly? What I got was he did go after her, but the Joker actually told him the other way around. So the Joker said she was there and Harvey Dent was in the other place, but it was actually, he knew it was the other way around to trick them. That's what I understood.
That's very possible.
So he did go after her, but then when he got there, it wasn't. It was actually where Harvey Dent was.
It was the other way around.
Okay, yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
But even what the Joker did at the end with the two boats, And the fact that there wasn't actually an explosion gonna go off, it was he was leaving them to kill themselves because he believed that, you know, that's what every human will do when it comes down to it. And then when they didn't, it obviously like shocked him, and he was like, that was also
because then that messed with his thing. Because remember, he kept repeating the whole thing of there's crazy in everybody, all you need is a little push.
Yes.
And that was then great because it worked on Harvey Dent's, but then it didn't work on the little ship people things.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It really was. It might be, I feel like it and Dunkirk are on the same level now.
Although, to be fair, whenever I think of the Batman trilogy, I always think of it as a whole. So I never single out one movie. Because you'll see what I mean at the end of the third one.
That's how I felt about The Matrix. That's what took the trilogy to the island.
I still need to finish the third Matrix.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And we need to do it soon because you know the fourth one's coming out.
Yeah, that's one I'm looking forward to.
Will it be good though? Because when they start reviving stuff, it's never really that great. Like, think of Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't even include the fifth one in my thoughts of Pirates of the Caribbean. The fourth one's my favorite, and the last one.
There's a whole lot of stuff.
For me, my favorite were the first three of the Pirates. For me, me, I agree what you're saying. Where it's one, it's like it's because those first three. Yes. The story continues. So I take Pirates 1, 2, and 3. As one movie.
Yes.
There we go.
You see?
It's just that Elizabeth Swann lady who ruined them.
Yeah, you don't like Keira Knightley.
I really don't like her. On my word.
I'm cool with her, so. Yeah. But you know that this this film made more money, The Dark Knight made more money than Batman Begins' entire domestic run in only 6 days of release.
That would make sense though.
How crazy is that?
Because everybody thought that the first one wasn't going to be that great. I don't think. Yeah. And then that proved them wrong. And then the hype for the second one was bigger.
And then this is also the first comic book movie to reach the 1 billion mark worldwide in box office.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I think what made a difference was that I don't know if you guys felt the same when watching the film. This is not a superhero film. This is actually more like a drama because it actually it more tackles on Batman. Like behind the scenes Batman and the character, and not really like, oh, superhero Batman here, save the day, yay. But I mean, there was a lot of drama and stuff. I mean, the Joker, this guy was a real troublemaker in this film.
Yeah.
And it was almost like the thing that put me on edge about this film was that there was no way of stopping Joker. Yes. It was just like they kept him, and then you think like, no, they got him, that's it. But then stuff, it's just like,
you know what I found crazy was he wanted Batman to kill him because then this is also what I got. He wanted, because in the car chase sequence, he says, come at me. Like he wanted him. Yes, he wanted him.
I was still like, why didn't I mean?
Because Batman's supposed to be the hero.
And it goes against Batman's morals because he knew if he hit him, he'd probably kill him.
So now, if he hits him, he's killed him. So now, but isn't killing wrong? So now, how is Batman?
No, that goes against Batman as a whole. Like that's his one moral code.
So he wanted him to kill him because he knew psychologically what it would. No, this guy was crazy. The Joker's character is insane. And also, Heath Ledger, I think, for me personally, he really put everything he had into the character, because the first sequence that he filmed with Christian Bale was, the interrogation scene where Batman basically beats him up.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger told Christian Bale to not hold back his punches because normally they don't actually punch them for real. Like you figure it out. He told him not to do that, and then when Christian Bale hesitated, he started throwing himself into the wall.
Oh wow!
So, and there was actually, if you look on the tiles, there's actually cracks, and that's from Heath Ledger throwing himself in the wall because he wanted that whole. So he seriously takes his.
But I agree with you about the film being focused more on Batman in the sense of they actually. I think Christopher Nolan discussed this in how each film is supposed to focus on a different aspect of Batman himself as a character. So the first one obviously deals with his fear linked to the whole scarecrow, fear gas kind of thing. The second one links to his sanity. And then the third one links to his strength, I think. All are the major defining characteristics of Batman himself. So...
It's definitely a different way to execute a movie like this.
But still comic book accurate.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
I think it's a good way to look at like a comic book / superhero movie.
Yeah.
To like a good way to approach it.
It's a different point. Yeah, it's different. It's not just, there's something happened. This is at risk. Okay, here comes the Dark Knight. Yeah, he saves the day. Everyone's saved. It didn't happen at like nothing.
Nope. Yeah.
Like that, but it's still satisfying. You're still like, oh, yeah, of course, you know.
Yeah, because he didn't save the girl.
No.
Ryan was very happy about that.
I can't wait for you guys to see the third one. This is just going to enhance the argument even better. Love it.
Is it?
Ryan, do you
wait for it?
Did this change anything in your Christopher Nolan favorite list?
No, it's just the thing that I'm finding is the story. I don't know how to put this. The way of writing the story feels old. There's nothing new or different for me, you know. So it happens, you're like, oh yes, of course, yeah, of course, you know. I think I'm just a get me by surprise junkie kind of guy.
Had you watched this movie?
Yes, I did. Yeah, so I'd watched. I think this was before I found, or after it. Yeah, around Heath Ledger's death, there was. I don't know if I heard. Yeah, I'm not sure. It was just sort of in between stuff. Okay. Yeah.
I'd seen parts and bits, so like, but I'd also seen it not watching the movie. So when Harvey Dent's character becomes Two-Faced, I'd seen that on like CG pages on Instagram and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's where this is from.
I don't know too much about Two-Face. So when it happened in this film, I was like, oh, he's actually...
Oh, flip.
He's a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Two-Faced. He's got the coin and then...
No, he was horrible. I hated him.
And then,
this sounds terrible, but I hated him more than I hated the Joker. Honestly, I was
think
just
you're
like,
supposed
but the Joker is a likable guy.
He is. He's funny because the reason is the Joker makes sense. Like you can understand his weird psychological reasoning behind it. Whereas you just saw this super like high and mighty politician dude all of a sudden become this weird guy who's just going off at people
with a coin.
So it didn't fully make sense, his transition.
But let's look at it. I mean, the Two-Face, he's got a, what do they call it? He's got a reason for his evil. What is the Joker doing?
No, but he's lost someone. It's not like no one else loses someone.
Yes, there's like, a reason to. So
no, but even so, Batman lost someone in the first film.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, other people have lost people now to go and kill people because of your grief. Every single person loses someone in their life.
Yeah.
They don't turn into a serial killer.
But do you see that Harvey Dent is an exact mirror image of Batman? Which is where Joker's argument comes in so well. Because Batman is a result of his parents' death, okay? He became Batman and he fights now for good. Whereas Harvey Dent, through Joker's little push over the edge, witnessed loss and then entered the extreme side of things, but now he entered it for the bad. So he's like same choice as Batman, but he chose the wrong one. You know?
Can I be honest? I hated that at the end Batman took the fall for everything. Honestly,
I think that's cool.
No, I hate
No, but it makes sense.
Kind of story.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Because the people didn't know that Harvey Dent was a villain as Two-Face. They didn't know that. So therefore, they still viewed him as this like almighty politician, like lovable guy, whatever. And now you had them finding out that Joker had turned this guy into a villain. So that smashed their whole ideals and also gave Joker this sense of he's won, you know? So you kind of had to...
It's like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I think it was cool.
He's the good guy, but no one knows he's the good guy. Except for Gordon and his son. That was crazy though, the way Harvey took Gordon's family captive. I was just like, this guy is a psychopath, this guy is crazy, this guy's... that was... I was like, he's gonna kill them all. They're dead.
But didn't the coin land on like life or something like that? Because I know he like tosses the coin and he's like, you're either gonna live or die.
Yes.
But didn't at the last one he was
the
like
boy.
choosing on the boy.
Yeah.
It landed on love. And then he still was like, nah, I'm going to kill this kid.
Yes, that
so
did
that
happen.
then ruined the whole Harvey Dent character because Two-Face is supposed to stick to his whole like, if it's death, it's death. That is, but everybody gets a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, and if it's life, it's life.
Yeah.
So how far does Two-Face go? Is there like a whole comic?
Yeah. He's supposed to be. That's why I'm saying that links to my thing. Like,
and
so in the comic books, he lives on for quite a while. He even goes to Arkham Asylum. There's he's one of the major villains like Joker, and because Batman never kills them, they just keep breaking out of like institutions and jail and coming back, and then so it's an endless cycle there, which is why I was like, my previous arguments of they killed him off too soon. However, viewing the trilogy as a trilogy by itself, it's one of the better decisions.
Yeah.
You know? So that then made sense to me. Which is why I had to put it aside and be like, it's okay.
It's fine. They did good with what they had.
Yeah.
The time that they had. They did well. Yeah.
The only thing for me was there were two things that bothered me in this film. And I don't know if it was just okay, look, it's not a big deal, let's move. Like Two-Face. So, okay, this might be like really stupid. The thing that bugged me was that obviously with, you know, the side of his face where you see his teeth, I'm like, you can't talk like that, technically. It's difficult to talk.
But he didn't talk normally.
He did.
Did he?
He was talking normally.
Wasn't he supposed to? I read this somewhere. I've never read the comics, so I don't know. But wasn't he supposed to slurp or something? Because obviously of the.
It's difficult. Like
he. I agree with you. He maybe should.
You can't hold the air to make certain sounds.
I still felt like he talked a little bit with like gritted teeth. I don't know. So I'll have to go back and rewatch it. But if it was, I never held that guy as an amazing actor. So I was never like, okay, cool, I'm gonna hold that against you. If Heath Ledger did something like that, I would have been like, whoa, bro.
Like, what are you
step
doing?
Back now. But yeah, I see what you're saying. And your second thing?
Oh, and then the bike. Yeah.
Him not hitting him.
I don't know. There was just something very unrealistic. The way that.
Do you know do you know that thing was real? Christian Bale couldn't ride it, as in he actually couldn't physically ride it because the wheels were so big. It was actually difficult to stay on. There were even stuntmen that couldn't get it right.
For real,
there was one person who's you see in the film. So whenever you see someone driving, it's called the Bat Pod, right?
I think so. Could be.
Whenever someone's driving it's that stunt double. Except for the close-ups. The close-ups, they had it rigged on a car, so it wasn't actually. Christian Bale driving it. He was just sitting on it while it moved.
Yeah.
But apparently it was not easy to drive at all. Like the wheels were so big, you would just fall off and...
I like there's a part where he does a turn, he like goes up the wall and then he comes down.
Oh, that was
cool. Was so cool.
That's so Batman though.
It's cool, but it's...
Because that plays into his whole
it's like
invention thing.
The physics.
No, but the physics
out.
kind of makes sense. You could pull that off Batman-wise.
I feel, didn't they do that?
Maybe like it went a bit too quick. I'm saying the move is cool, but I'm saying
you would have liked them to like slow it down a little bit.
The animation, I don't know.
Are you sure that was animation?
I didn't feel the weight of it. Like,
are you
sure
that was animation?
I don't think you were supposed to.
No, I don't know. It could be CG. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure they really did it.
I think they did that. I don't think that was CG.
It was so quick. It was good. It was like me. Okay.
Well, technically, he was in the middle of a chase. Like, what more did you want him to do?
I think that was real, eh? I think that was real.
I don't think it was real as in, like, there were no stunt ties or stuff. I think there were, like, cable ties linked to it and maybe a little bit of CGIing out of certain things.
The cable ties make sense, yeah.
I think it was... I think it's cables.
Yeah, but he definitely did the whole maneuver.
I think the only thing that's like proper CG is when Harvey Dent becomes Two-Faced, and Christopher Nolan said he knew he wouldn't have been able to
Two-Faced was so good though. I was looking at it, I was just like...
I was like, that looks... Personally for me, I was like, that looks like CG.
Even the way that they took time to reveal it. Like you
that
keep
was
seeing
cool.
like the side of the face, and then eventually turns over, you know, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that was very cool cinematically. Yeah, because you still thought that he was fine.
Yeah, and then you're like, hey.
But I do feel they should have just put like green screen over the mouth section and then make up the whole thing. Okay, maybe the mouth and eye, because that they couldn't do. Obviously, they couldn't like cut a hole in this dude's cheek.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah.
But I mean, it was good CG, but I do think they could have put makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Joker's makeup was pretty
amazing.
You know, he had what they call a Glasgow smile.
Yeah.
So that's apparently there was a Scottish gang that used to, whenever they'd kill someone, they would then carve a smile in their face from
like
their mouth to their ears, so that you knew this was the Glasgow gang that did it.
Oh, wow.
And then you see the scars on his face. He's in the Glasgow smile. And apparently also with the makeup, Heath Ledger asked I don't think he fully did everything, because the makeup artist still won an award for best makeup.
Yeah.
But he also applied some of the face paint himself, because he said the character would put on the face paint himself. So it needs to look like someone's just gone and like put it on. And they even put paint on his fingers so that it looked like he'd gone and applied.
You could see that, like, especially in some of the car chase scenes, he was like sweating. In his jail scene, you could see his makeup was coming off because he had not put it on recently. That was genius.
No, it was.
But even the way they set him up as a villain, there was no doubt that this guy was next level. But even when he firstly walked into that mob boss room with grenades, that was amazing. Then when he took that guy out, like, hey, you want to see a magic trick?
Oh yes,
and then he just smashed that.
And it was
when
quick,
when you realize he actually used the blunt end, the razor end, to do it, and not the sharp end, that even improves it. Because remember, he shoved the sharp end into the table, and he was like, it was so cool.
You know how they did that? They didn't CG it out. They did it in 2 shots. So what they did was the first shot was the pencil, then they removed the pencil, and then did the second.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very cool. Yeah. So Ryan, nothing. Your list has not changed at all.
No.
Like, it's still Tenet, then Inception.
Tenet is good.
Then?
Still trying to figure out Tenet.
What's third?
No, actually, I'm not trying to figure out. Wait. First?
Tenet.
Yes. Second?
Inception.
Yes.
Then?
Christopher Nolan movies, right? Yeah, I think I might
put this one there.
I think Batman Begins.
Not The Dark Knight.
No, not yet.
All right. Wow.
Not yet. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. I don't know. Maybe it's the trilogy thing.
Okay, so you'll put the trilogy there.
And I need to see more of his films. I haven't watched enough, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So we will be back next week for The Dark Knight Rises.
Very keen. I'm waiting to see your guys' minds explode.
Come back. I hated it. Stop the whole Batman series.
I'll leave the show if you guys say that. I'm out of here. I can't handle it anymore. No, I'm listening to you.
Who's the bad guy in the next film?
Tom Hardy.
No. Don't spoil it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Leave
I spoiled
it. It's a reveal.
But you won't recognize him.
Is
True.
It?
You won't recognize
Well, it was
him.
2000.
I've actually watched The Dark Knight Rises. I don't remember it, and I hadn't watched the previous 2, so that's why
really
I was just
good.
like, okay, yeah.
Hopefully you won't see a lot of the plot twists coming in
The second one.
The third one.
I mean the third one, yeah. I remember the opening sequence. That I remember.
Yeah, that one is quite memorable.
I remember the opening
That's
sequence.
also
That's also
not done with CGI.
Yeah.
That's pulled off in reality. Apparently it was one of the hardest things they've had to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah.
You'll probably like that then, Ryan.
I'm looking forward to that.
Watch it knowing it's not CG.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Ryan likes CG.
But you liked Tenet because they didn't use as much CG.
Yeah.
So that just...
It is cooler when there's a good... Look, CG is needed and also...
Not needed.
Not needed,
yeah,
yes.
Agreed.
I think that's the thing about CG. Like fantasy films, or the CG is,
that's needed.
Can be really cool. I remember from what was the
Avatar,
the film about the lion, the witch, and
Narnia.
Narnia. There was the beach they were on where there were the waves.
Yes,
that I could never forget that. Where those waves would be
like that wasn't Narnia. That was Voyage of the Dawn Treader, wasn't it? Was Narnia, but it wasn't the first one. It wasn't the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
It wasn't.
Wait, repeat this whole thing real quick. I am not remembering this wave scene.
It was Voyage of the Dawn
Which
Treader.
one was it? It definitely wasn't the first one.
It was when they were on the boat.
They were on the boats or the beach?
No. He's talking about Prince Caspian, where that whole man comes out of the river.
No, it wasn't.
And wipes out the armies in the lake. Like, there's that river.
Was it that one?
Massive dude.
I think all of this is just like... I think it's...
Was it a person or a wave?
What, were they on a beach?
No, they were on a beach.
Like a proper beach, like not a lake with
But wait,
sand.
what happened with the wave? Describe this so we can figure it out.
Just stay there like that.
Oh yes, it was Voyage of the Dawn Treader then. It was at the end of Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
What happened?
With the mouse.
Yes.
Okay. When they're walking into basically like heaven or whatever. Okay,
yes.
I've got you.
Yes,
now.
that's it.
Wow, that took a really
I
roundabout route to get there.
Again, now that you mentioned that.
So it's stuff like that where CG, you're like, wow, that is really cool. But like when they really execute, like Michael Bay, like I mean the car chase scenes and stuff like that, and they really flip like that's cool.
No, yeah, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hate fake explosions.
Yes.
Like and you often see that you're like wow. Seriously?
But sometimes the real explosions aren't as cool. I'm gonna be for real. Like they're a lot smaller and less boom to them sometimes.
Look, you've got to over execute the put a bit more gasoline there.
Yeah.
Then it looks
Press
cool.
the button twice instead of once.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, so then did you like 6 Underground because of all the explosions and stuff?
I have no idea what.
The Ryan Reynolds movie.
It was Michael Bay.
I think so.
It was a Michael Bay.
Hey, Michael Bay did it was probably cool, yeah.
But he just does explosions the whole movie. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
No, I
you don't
didn't
know what's
like
happening.
it.
You're just like, that's cool.
It was not Ryan Reynolds for me. That was some weird clone.
That's funny. So this has been the movie show. Wow, guys, you're going to leave me hanging.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
We will continue next week.
Since Ryan and Tim don't want to talk anymore, I'll just sign us out.
Off.
Yeah, goodbye.
All right, I'm getting up. See you later. Cheers, bye.
That is the sound of Ryan walking out. This is the movie show signing out. Next week, peace out.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Enjoying the Active FM shows? Well, then catch us on Instagram at ActiveFM777, Twitter and Gab at ActiveFM, Facebook at ActiveFM/777, as well as YouTube at ActiveFM and our website at www.activefm.co.za. Don't stop, don't hesitate. Find, follow and enjoy us on all our different platforms. You don't want to miss out.